Push-up training is wonderful, but it can feel pretty old and stale very quickly, especially if the only programming variable you've got at your disposal is just to do more endless reps and sets. Not only does that make your push-up training feel pretty tedious, but it can also lead to all sorts of little imbalances, aches and pains, and compensation patterns. That's why I created this video, because down below in the description, I've got time-stamped several of my favorite push-up workouts, which help to alleviate all of these issues while keeping your push-up training feeling alive and fresh and hopefully stimulating a little bit more of that muscle growth by covering those bases we typically miss with just endless set and rep push-up training. So let's just jump right into it. Enjoy. First up is the good old-fashioned 3-minute test. Just get a timer and set the clock for roughly 3 minutes and bang out as many repetitions as you can. Ideally, you're using some sort of a push-up variation that's gonna burn you out pretty quick in under a minute. So that way you get what you can for reps, you gotta stop, shake out, and then for the rest of that 3-minute duration, you're getting whatever you can for repetitions. Another fun workout variation is the isodynamic workout. So the way it works is each set is 1 minute in length, and you set a timer for 15 seconds. You get 15 seconds of movement, followed by 15 seconds of isometric, followed by 10 seconds of movement, 10 seconds of isometric, 5 seconds of movement, and 5 seconds of isometric. Set about a minute or so of rest in between each round, 2-3 rounds, or you can use just one round as a good way to really wake up and pump up the muscles in a very quick micro workout. One of my favorite push-up variations is to mix it with push-up methods that target triceps, shoulders, or chest. So for example, we'll go with a tricep focus, and we'll have our classic triceps press into the floor. And of course, you can do this on your knees to regress. The more you lean forward, the more weight you put on your hands. The more you lean back, the easier it is. So we'll get 6 tricep presses, followed immediately by 12 regular push-ups. You can rest after that, or you can immediately go into 4, and then 8, and then 2, and then 4 to really blast out your triceps. To focus a bit more on the shoulders, we mix with pike push-ups. So hips are up nice and high, and you have 8 pike push-ups, followed again immediately into regular push-ups for 16, and then 6, and then 12, 4, 8, 2, and then 4. Good regressive right there should really spark a lot of new activation in your shoulders. This workout is fun if you're looking for an interesting chest challenge or a way to really target your pectorals. You can do this with rings. I like my NOS suspension straps. And even if you don't have that, like towels on a hardwood floor or carpet sliders work pretty well for this as well. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off with a series of chest flies. And we're gonna keep it relatively low, go for 8, let's say. Go for 8 flies, then back on up, or whatever push-up variant will test you for 16, keeping those shoulders down and back. And then of course, again, you can go for 6, and then 12, or you can simply go as much as you can as your chest flies will endure, and then you have incline push-ups as a strong finisher. Crawling exercises are a great addition for your push-up workouts because you're still using your chest and shoulders and triceps just like you do in a push-up, but you're now engaging those muscles in a lot of new angles while still working the same muscles. One of the best ways to do this is instead of doing push-ups for reps, you do push-ups for distance. So you pick 2 points, kind of like you're doing lunges, and do a push-up, and then you crawl. And then a push-up, and then you crawl. Of course, you can do 2 push-ups in between each step, or 3, or you can start off doing 10, and then you do 9, and then 8, however you prefer, but getting that crawl in between your reps really enhances the workout as a whole. Another fun crawling push-up workout is to set up 2 points along the floor, different widths, the wider, the harder this is going to be, and you do regressive number of reps at each point. So let's say we have 10 push-ups at this cone, and then you have crawling here, and when you're crawling, you can make it all the harder by crawling really low to burn the muscles out, and then you'll have 8 or 9 if you decide to go down by ones, and then you'd have 6 and all the way down. When you're completed, stop and rest, and if you want even more, work your way back up to the original number you started with. And then lastly, for crawling push-ups, you have crawling forward, alternating Spider-Man push-ups, which not only challenges you for distance and gets you working in all sorts of funny angles, but it also places a little bit more weight on one hand, usually the top hand here, so you get progressive resistance in one arm or the other. One of my favorite push-up workout variants is pyramid sets, just like you would do with weights. Only with push-ups, we're going to adjust our angle to gravity. And this works particularly well if you use like a Smith machine. I'll be using my trusty body weight master here, but even if you find yourself around the home, you can use different heights of things like the top of your couch and then the coffee table and then the ottoman and then the floor or something. Just make sure it's something strong and sturdy. So on the way down, you start nice and easy. Nice, good warm up, good to dial in your technique. And you pick a number, let's say 8 repetitions. You get 8 reps, and then you go to the next lowest, and you do 8 there, and then you keep working your way down either until you're on the floor or until you just can't get 8 anymore. Then on the way up, instead of doing reps, you get as many as you can. And when you start grinding them out, you go to your next higher level and you keep going and you just keep going until you're either totally smoked out or until you get up to that level where it's like, okay, this is easy. I can just keep doing this forever. Alternating step push-ups are always fun and a good way to challenge one side of your body a little tiny bit more than the other, but we're going to put a twist to it. So we have one hand on step, or you can use a medicine ball, stack of bricks, whatever's going to be sturdy. One hand on the floor. We're going to keep a little bit more weight on the step. And this is kind of like the assistance arm. So we do our push-up, and when we come to the middle, we do one narrow. Then we go to the other side, a little more weight on my right side. And then when we come here, we do 2. 1, 2. And then we repeat, keep going until you can't get the number in the middle. Or you can start with a high number and work your way down to 0. Changing the speed of your push-ups is a great way to really spice up your push-up training. We're going to do this a la Neuro mass or John Bruni style. So we're going to have 3 speeds. First, we're going to start off with kind of an explosive style push-up. You're coming off the floor, and you're going to get about 6 to 8 of these. Then move potentially to a higher level push-up variant, or you can have like a weight vest on, something that's really going to be heavy, and you're going to go really slow and grind out those repetitions. And then when you feel like you've done about as much as you can with that, then you do a finisher and hold, squeezing every muscle to the max you've got for 10, 15, maybe 20 seconds. And then you're done and completely spent. Twisting push-ups are a great way to break out of the classic bilateral push-up style training and get you working more with one arm working than the other. So standard push-up width, whatever you're comfortable using, but as you come down, you twist, try to look up. So right now, I am putting more weight on my right hand just because my weight is kind of falling in that direction. And then you push up and you get to the other side. And push up and back. So it's a standard push-up workout. get what you can for repetitions, but it's a good way to help you realize any sort of imbalances and break out of your traditional stale push-up technique. Shifting push-ups are also a great way to help really build up some resiliency in your joints while making your muscles work a lot harder. So we're going to go with an upside down T for this, and you adjust the resistance by how wide your hands are. I recommend starting out a little narrower than you think is necessary because this is a humbling exercise. So you're going to come down into the middle and shift all the way to one side, then all the way to the other side. Back to the middle and up. It helps when you shift to pull the arm in and tight. You don't want to shift and feel like your shoulders are shrugging with your elbow coming out, because that's going to stress the wrist and take all the stress out of your muscles into your joints. So you want to feel like you're kind of pulling yourself to the side with one arm after the other. And as always, there's the classic Tabata style workout where it's 8 rounds of 20 seconds, max effort intensity, followed by 10 seconds of rest. And it usually doesn't pair too well with push-ups because it busts out your muscles pretty quick. So if you start off with normal push-ups, by the end of that, you're just kind of flopping around and trying to get through it, which is why I recommend doing it in a regressive style with either suspension straps or just different levels of objects you have around. So you start off really hard level of intensity, or relatively so, and then as you fatigue, you can move to higher inclines, so that way your push-ups still stay strong, and you can complete each round with the best technique and maximum intensity that you can bring to it. If you really want to punish your push chain, try doing this little workout that I used to do with a buddy of mine, where we'll do dips first, because dips, after all, are basically a push-up variant. You're using the same muscles, joints are moving in the same direction against resistance. So you pick a number, let's say 6. So you get 6 dips to the best of your ability, and then you drop down immediately into push-ups, and your objective is to do twice as many push-ups as dips. So we got 6 there, and now we're doing 12. And if you're working out with a partner, a fun thing you can do is do your dips, and then your partner can hold your legs out horizontally, and you do the push-ups right on the dip bars without any rest in between. One of the easiest ways to really fry your push chain to a whole new level is to do your normal push-ups just like you normally do, nothing different. But as you get to that point where you can't get any more, instead of stopping, come down and see if you can hold for a good 20 seconds. Squeezing in, triceps tight, chest tight. This is a great opportunity to really dial in your technique and your tension. Get everything in 20 seconds, and you're done. Feel free to mix, match, modify, and change these workouts however you see fit for your circumstances. One of the great things about calisthenics training is you don't need to do it one particular precise way to get results. Anything here will work as long as you're progressively working your muscles harder. But if you also have any questions, down below in the comment section so I can address them there. Thank you much for watching. Be fit and live free.